is up, you all? We're back with another Stranger Things Season 5 video, and today we're going to be talking about some potential details with some characters and the plot. But before we get into it, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Also hit that noti bell so you'll be notified every time I drop some Stranger Things videos and more horror content over on the channel. Now, pushing forward, I think that with the character Max Mayfield, there's going to be a lot of things that's going on with this character, along with characters like Will Byers, 11, and more. But mainly Max Mayfield, knowing that, you know, the state she's in after everything that happened with Season 4, she's currently in a coma and she's blind from our knowledge. And she's been through a lot, especially in Season 4 with everything, like her almost being killed. So I think that with this whole concept of her being in a coma and not being able to talk to her friends and her just being consciously in her mind, something's telling me she's going to be consciously connected to Vecna, and that's bad. I think it's going to be something where he's still toying with her. He's still trying to get over on her. He's doing things that actually is hurting her on the other side. But I also think that Max will potentially be able to help her friends from the other side, being the upside down, because she's consciously going to be connected to like the Mind Flare, Vecna, everything that's connected to the upside down. And I think that, you know, Will Byers is going to have the same issue too. But only difference between Will Byers and Max Mayfield is that Max is in a coma and Will is up and running. I already talked to you all about potentially Will being possessed and actually going up against his friends and helping Vecna and being like, you know, Vecna's right hand man or something like that. But I also think that with Max Mayfield, she could potentially be converted to a host for Vecna, being that she's a lucky victim of his where she's still alive. She can't see, similar to Victor Creel. But I think with Max, the reason he's going to use Max is because he knows that a lot of her friends are coming to visit her. They're feeling for Max, or hoping that she comes back to reality, and he's going to use her to get to them. Same thing with Will Byers. But pushing forward, I also think this, y'all. So we saw in Season 4 where Max Mayfield died. Like, she was dead right there once Vecna did everything he did with his curse and she was in Lucas's arms. She died. But 11 bringing her back to life with powers. It wasn't nothing organically reviving her like how it would happen in real life. It was just powers that was involved. So it kind of made me think, what if with her being brought back by 11's powers, it actually stayed hovering over Max Mayfield, and now she has some type of powers connected to her, similar to 11. Not nothing telekinetic, I want to say, but it might be something that's kind of consciously that's now involved with Max, where she has powers where she can kind of teleport to different type of people's minds, consciousness, and just real life send messages a different way than your average human. I think it's going to be something where Max actually has now a power that is going to help her friends in the whole situation with Season 5, but I can be wrong. That's the thing. I know a lot of us speculated that Will Byers would have powers also because of everything that happened with him. So I feel like if we're speculating saying that Will Byers could potentially have powers in Season 5, you got to say that Max Mayfield can also. Now, a lot of people are speculating that, you know, Max is not going to die, which I don't think she's going to die. But it's for different reasons. People are saying they think she's not going to die because of everything that happened in Season 4. She's already technically died before, and it was already our emotions and everything all over the place because of Max, so they're not going to go back and do that. But that doesn't mean anything, like the Duffer Brothers said. If I had to, you know, speculate and think about a theory, I think that it's going to be one kid from the group, possibly just one kid from the main group, and an older kid from the teenage group, being like a Robin, for example. I could see Robin actually checking out, but my main pick from that group, you already know who I'm picking. I'm picking Steve Harrington, because originally he was actually going to be, you know, a goner, but everybody gravitated to that character so much that they wanted to keep him alive. I think with Max Mayfield consciously being connected to Vecna, I think that it also can be something where she helps her friends, you know, from the other side, and see things that's potentially happening with Vecna, what he's trying to do, who he's trying to target, and just see how everything is operating. But with her doing that, and like I said, what if Will gets converted over to being Vecna's partner and setting up his friends? Maybe Max is the one to kind of warn 11 that Will Byers is not who he say he is. He's actually being, you know, a partner of Vecna's. I think that that can definitely be crazy, and a lot of people enjoy that twist because it's friend versus friend. We got one that's trying to help, and we got one that's trying to destroy. Now, like I said, if she does die, that will be very emotional because we got teased with it with season 4's ending. I think that Lucas will be crushed. Her friends will be crushed because you got to think Max is one of the friends that were new, being like Max and 11. They actually came to be a part of the group. They didn't start off with the boys. So I think that they all feel for Max, and it'll definitely hurt, especially because of the state she's in and everything. But my theory with everything with Stranger Things season 5 and the character Max, I think that we're definitely going to see her possibly get out of the coma like mid-season, like 4 episodes in. I think they're going to play with us, being that she's going to still be on bed rest, going through a lot of things where she's seeing Vecna, the upside down, going through these panics in her hospital bed while her friends are there, kind of making it seem like it's the end for Max. But towards the middle, when stuff starts kicking up and they need that help, I think that it will be something where she gets out of that, you know, coma and out of that mind state. She's back up and running, her vision comes back. Or I heard theories out there where people say that once the upside down is gone and it is out of there, that everything goes back to normal, being like Victor Creel's eyesight, Max Mayfield's eyesight, you know, Will having problems with feeling Vecna, that type of stuff, which makes sense because the upside down is just the big host that's, you know, keeping the power and everything running. It's a part of the gates being open. Now, pushing forward, I do think that with Max Mayfield being in the hospital, we're going to get a lot of hospital scenes in Hawkins where the friends come and visit her, but a lot of things are going to happen. We did see behind the scenes that they were filming and they were using red light in the hospital. So who's in the hospital? Max Mayfield. I think that could potentially be something with her still dealing with Vecna while still being in a coma for sure. Now, Will Byers, I definitely think that we're going to get some scenes with him being possessed because everything has led up to this moment from previous seasons and episodes where he's basically saying he still feels Vecna. He's still having this weird feeling. We seen through season 4, he feels like his friends are not talking to him, and I think that's going to play a big part in him trying to convert over to being with Vecna. Now, pushing forward, I also think that Max can be, you know, like a host also, especially because she's not, you know, fully herself. She's still in a coma. So maybe it's something where Max actually is just how Will was when he was on bed resting. And you remember Mike and that whole situation, and they had to get burn the upside down out of him. I can see Max having bits and pieces like that with her also. Mainly her character, when we see Max Mayfield's character, it's going to be on the other side, like the upside down, similar to that Dear Billy scene where she's in that red cloudy space, the upside down with Vecna. I think her mindset is going to have her in a lot of areas like that leading up to that moment where she actually gets pulled out of that state. Now, I think when they do pull her out of that state, it's going to be something like this. If Netflix decides to split season 5 into 2, for example, we might get a scene where she wakes up out of her sleep and they're like, oh my God, Max is alive. You know what I'm saying? I think that makes sense and is very smart to do something like that because it'll keep us very invested. I mean, I'm going to be invested either way. Like, this is my favorite show of all time. I think that'll be a good way to end part 1 of season 5 and get us prepared for part 2 of season 5 for sure. Like I said, overall, I think that 11 is going to get a lot of help from Max Mayfield because I don't think that 11 is going to be able to do everything in season 5 by herself. I think she's going to go visit Max a lot from the other side. I mean, they have done that before when 11 was checking on people through her mind. I think it could be something where she's actually conversating to Max through the other side, or maybe she's going to the hospital and we get a scene where she grabs her hand and she can read her mind and things like that. I mean, that was enough when she brought her back to life with her power. So we see how powerful 11 can be. Now, that'll make it even better if Max has powers also, so they're really connected. I think overall, that's going to be the whole just detailed part of her character, being that Max Mayfield's going to have a lot going on with her. I think that she's going to play a huge part in Stranger Things season 5, just like Will Byers and 11. I think those 3 are going to play the biggest part. I don't know why, but when you go back and look at season 4 and all the things that the Duffers were trying to tell us, it all makes sense. I think that 11 and Will Byers and Max Mayfield will be the MVPs for season 5. Unfortunately, will they all make it? I don't think so. I think one of them are going to be gone. I think one of them are going to make a sacrifice, probably Will Byers, because it's going to end the way it started with him. And I think that it's just going to be that emotional moment for us fans being like, man, you know, I wish we would have felt for Will a little more and just seen the story, because it all started in season 1 with Will Byers. And I think it's going to end with him in season 5, being that the Duffers already told us that it's going to be full circle. So it all makes sense. So yeah, you all comment down below. How do you feel about everything I just talked about with Stranger Things season 5? Who do you think will be potentially possessed by Vecna? Do you think Max Mayfield will make it through season 5? Do you think she will be able to help her friends? And do you think that season 5 will be your favorite season? Comment down below. Unfortunately, this is the end of this video. Don't forget that Welcome to Hawkins podcast is on its way soon as trailer 1 drops. And we're going to have a lot of fun and nerd out, man, for Stranger Things season 5. But unfortunately, this is the end of this crazy video. I want y'all to hit me up on all my social medias at ILIKESCARY. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.